Hello, your friend the Neighborhood Quarter Guy here, and, well, it's rant time. Mainly due to two things that YouTube has either done or is in the pipe. First off, I want to rant about YouTube's restricted mode. Basically, restricted mode is supposed to restrict access to videos to certain people that meet certain criteria. Now, this is iffy in theory already, but in execution, it's shown to be downright horrible. I mean, look at all the channels that have been affected so far. I mean, let's see, Gaijin, Goomba, countdown makers like myself have some of their videos blocked on restricted mode for strange reasons. Probably the weirdest I've seen is how it's affected Josh Scorcher's channel. I mean, Josh is usually pretty much straight as an arrow when it comes to his videos. I mean, he doesn't swear at all. It's like, sometimes he includes games that have rather violent content or vulgar stuff, but he has discretion warnings for that whenever that happens, so to see most of his countdowns and reviews blocked under restricted mode is obviously weird. To me, anyway. I think probably the worst thing about this restricted mode is we don't know just what the criteria are for something being blocked under restricted mode. And considering how many videos from popular YouTubers it's affecting, it's going to affect their views. At least it gives you an option to turn it off. Unfortunately, it's at the bottom of the page where most people might not notice. So, if you go to a YouTube channel and want to turn off restricted mode on your YouTube account, just scroll down the bottom and click that little button there. We shouldn't need to do that anyway. But I think one of the more egregious things is actually happening in May. YouTube is getting rid of annotations, or rather, getting rid of the ability to create new annotations and edit existing ones. Current annotations won't be affected, but there won't be any future annotations or editing in the future. And the reason for this is, well, annotations don't work on mobile devices, and apparently, according to the statistics that they're providing, the majority of YouTube views are on mobile devices anyway. So they're apparently trying to push people towards their end card feature, which is a lot more limited. I find this to be especially a problem, mainly because, for one thing, annotations are good for example, for Let's Plays, for directing people to the next video or the previous one or the playlist. Meanwhile, I'm going to have to get a new end card slate to accommodate this change, because the one I have now just doesn't work with the current problem with the end card feature, and it's gonna mess up not only my rhythm but probably at least a few other people's rhythms. Sometimes I feel like stuff like this is why it's sad that there isn't at least currently some viable alternative, but hopefully one develops. I mean, Twitch, which does live streaming better anyway, has a feature for uploading videos in beta currently. Hopefully that'll gain traction and get everything worked out. There's VidMe, which some people are skeptical about because of the nature of the URL for the site. Dailymotion doesn't get used a lot either, so one day there'll be a viable alternative, and YouTube will be forced to do something to keep itself competitive. At least that's what I hope, because proper competition should be able to inspire better practices. Should be, being the operative term. Meanwhile, in other news, my top 10 favorite Wii U games is in the editing stages. I'm trying to decide my next topic for April. I've got a few ideas in my head. I might put it up to a poll, I don't know. I'll see if I can get to that last episode of League of Law I have on the back burner. And as for my question of the week, what has YouTube done that has made the least sense to you? As always, leave your answers in the comments. Favorite comments will be featured in the next episode. Here are last week's winners. And with that, time for the Fourth Wall Mailbag. As always, send me your questions via YouTube comments, and I'll answer my favorites on the next episode. First question this week comes from Ludger's channel, who asks, "What's the worst video game console you've ever played?" Well, I'm not gonna lie, I have played the Virtual Boy. And, well, I guess I can say that the Virtual Boy was kind of overambitious. I mean, it was by the time it was released, when it was, technology didn't exactly exist to have the kind of immersive experience that the Virtual Boy, in theory, could have offered. I guess it was just an idea that was ahead of its time. Nowadays, we got stuff like the Oculus Rift, Samsung VR, PlayStation VR. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a virtual reality peripheral for the Switch at some time during its lifespan. Couldn't turn out worse than the Virtual Boy, that's for sure. Next question comes from the Green Dragon 53, who asks, "How likely do you think it will be that Castlevania will also be making a return now that Konami is actually doing things again?" You mean doing things outside of Pachinko? Well, anyway, I honestly have my doubts about a Castlevania revival, especially considered Bloodstained is coming out next year, and that's pretty much the spiritual successor, and actually looks good, unlike the popular consensus about Mighty Number 9. Anyways, Konami, however, did say that if Super Bomberman R was successful, then they would consider reviving other franchises, and judging from the sales figures so far, mainly the fact that Super Bomberman R has had the best launch of any Bomberman game in the last 20 years, I'd say that possibility exists. But I'm thinking it may actually come to other franchises first, such as Contra, Gradius, or some of the other Hudson properties that Konami has under their umbrella. But I'm not sure if Castlevania is going to be one of them at this point. Not holding my breath. Last question this week comes from Ellen the Ultimate Gamer, who asks, "So what do you think about BlazBlue on the Switch?" I hope it has the dub this time.